Welcome around the Workstand, Mark.
Hey, Susie, how's it going this week?
It's going pretty well. I got to see you in person again this
It was
weekend.
good to see you up in your hometown
Yes, we didn't ride bikes together, but we rode bikes separately.
on the same day in the same
The
area.
same.
Yeah.
Yep,
We,
yep.
we did Foco Fondo, a
We
very,
did.
very well done and enjoyable event in Fort Collins.
Yes, it was a great time. Very fun, very all the things. It's
Very all the things.
very all the things.
Beautiful country up there.
It's nice, huh?
Yeah.
We've got
Very
some
nice.
nice gravel roads, dirt roads, I guess is what you.
Yeah, they actually don't bill that event as a gravel event. They bill it as a multi-surface or something like that, multi-surface event. And I think that's great because we rode on asphalt. We rode on kind of champagne gravel. We rode on, I rode on some super chunky gravel at the top of the big climb.
Yeah.
We rode through a place where there were no descriptive roads at all, just little pink signs in a field you just rode towards.
Yep.
They had it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. It was a good
Yeah.
time. Yeah, they do a great job with literally the logistics of all that would just be so overwhelming to me that always just kind of boggles my mind seeing the scale of it. They do a great job and they have a very extensive map of all of our gravel roads and everything. So
Good job. I will continue to do that. If that's the second time I've been up there, it's very nice.
good. Glad. We will maybe next time we'll do the same distance.
Yes, but I have that affliction where I need to do the longer distance, even though I shouldn't be doing those longer distances. So maybe I can get over that affliction and we can just have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. My hopes aren't really up, but okay.
We'll see.
Well,
Speaking of,
what are we talking about today?
well, I still hear a lot. Historically, we've gotten a lot of grief about your websites all look alike, and certainly if you pick the same template your neighbors pick and you don't do anything to differentiate it, well, then just like on a Shopify site or a Squarespace site or a WordPress site, it's going to look like others of its kind. And there are certainly things that we want to be familiar. In other words, once we get into the shopping process, we want it to seem like every other e-commerce site. It's kind of like our old friend Stacy used to say, I think it was her that used to say this, if the turn signal was in a different spot in every car, you wouldn't know where the turn signal was.
Yeah.
And that's important. And so once you're in that buying, shopping process and checkout process, we want that to be familiar. But other than that, we certainly hope that it has a unique personality. It matches the store's vibe. And we have learned it's very important that what you present digitally as a website aligns with what a consumer would see when they came in the store. The closer those things align, the better all that seems to work, because shoppers these days will by and large meet your website long before they ever come to the store. In fact, if you don't do the website well, they probably aren't coming to the store because they need to know certain things. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today I want to talk about I don't want to say design, but I want to talk about how the website gets put together and how it can be differentiated between other stores that are using Workstand or not. So just some tips in general for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great redirect there. Keep us from
Wandering
going astray.
as we do.
As we do. Yeah, so we start with kind of maybe the lack of a better word, kind of easiest route, the easiest kind of path for maybe like self-service. You want to do it yourself, built-in tools.
Yeah. So let's start with that. There are 7 templates to choose from, which is a pretty good amount. And each of those 7 templates has what we call a theme editor. And that allows you to go in. You can take your brand colors. So hopefully you've thought about your brand colors as a business and go in and set all the different elements up that need to be changed so that the colors and the theme goes through that. You should be thinking about local photos. When we what we call provisioning a new site, when you first start out with this, we want you to have something to get started with as quickly as possible, no matter what you're willing to do or have done or in preparation for it. And so On a service page, we've got photographs. We've got photographs on all the pages, and they work and they're good and they're descriptive of, they make sense for where they are. But you should have local photos on your service page. It really ought to be your service department. You do not need a professional photographer. We're all carrying around these little devices in our pockets that used to just be for talking on the phone to other people. But mostly now they've got really good cameras. There's 3 cameras in that phone. They take really good pictures with almost no skill required. Just think about how you frame it up, put people in there, take some pictures. And that makes a world of difference, because now when somebody comes in, they want to tune up, they've looked at your service page, they see a person, and when they get to the store, they see that same person.
Yeah.
That's great. So think about that. Think about local content, things like pages for where to ride, your staff. You're big on staff photos and staff pics and things.
I am.
Yep, and that's important. A little bit of your history is nice. And what is it that makes your store different? What is your what we like to say is your unique value proposition? Is it you've got the greatest service department in town? Is it you got the biggest selection of new bikes? Is it that you do used bikes, that you do trade-ins? What is it that makes the store unique? And get that on a page and get that on the site.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you made a good point with these, like the kind of like some of our pre-built pages. We have pre-built home pages. Really great place to start. Swap out some of those photos, some of the categories. Really great starting point. And even I think the local photos would be a really fun way to engage your staff. Chances are they know the riding in your area best. They're excited about bikes. Maybe even engage your customers. It could be a fun little way to get people involved, help them feel invested in your business.
I agree. And if you're sitting here thinking right now, that sounds complicated, we have a great help center with super instructions and tips in that. We also have what I think is one of the best support teams. We call them the client success team, because that's their goal, is to help our clients succeed. They will help you with training, guide you through these processes, and get you ready to make those changes, because a website's not ever really done. You should always be evolving it and adding things to it and taking things away that don't need to be there and updating the homepage on a frequent basis. So they're there to help with that. We're all here to help with that.
Yeah. What if you want to do maybe a little bit more? Maybe you're looking for something that looks, you want to set yourself apart a little bit more. But you're not a developer.
Right.
What could you do then, Mark?
I think the next step, and there may be an interim step. You know, for instance, sometimes you just need to freshen things up, and our agency does do what we call homepage makeovers that are pretty reasonable investments. But if you want that extra step, I want to get away from the default or the stock tools. We started a new thing now we call premium themes. And these are based off of our really successful and valuable premium content packages, where we'll come up with a topic. Maybe it's bike packing or indoor cycling. And we create really nice landing page, a really nice homepage graphic, email and social graphics. We write a lot of really detailed copy that's search friendly. Those premium marketing type packages have great design. And we got to thinking, that's really good design. It'd make a good homepage. It'd make a good website design. So we've done that. We've taken those and turned those into what we call premium themes, where the header has been custom designed or semi-custom designed, because it's not custom unless it's for you. So we've done a design different than our stock. The homepage has got really detailed design on it. It's got a footer, and we're updating the location detail pages with that. And then we're leaving a style guide like we would on a custom project, which we'll talk about next. That style guide makes it really easy for you to apply those styles to other pages on the site. Those are $1,500, $1,499. And that is a pretty reasonable investment to have a semi-custom theme. And I say semi-custom because you don't get, it's not that we start with you and we figure out what's unique, but we came up with a really nice design. And it's no different than maybe when you do jerseys at the store. You can go full custom or you can go semi-custom and kind of update. That's what this does. And they look really good, as you can see. And there is currently about 6 of these themes that we've thought these would make really good site designs. But the cool thing is we add those premium content packages every quarter. And so every quarter there'll be new designs that we could use to make these premium themes.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't let the style guide kind of intimidate you. That's something that we always kind of deliver with a full custom site, like we'll talk about. But that's something that I had to work with when I first came to Workstand, then Smart Detailing, and I had no experience. And they were very easy to use, very easy to kind of replicate, bring into a new page, take one of those kind of pre-built pages from the library and modify it a bit. So yeah,
It makes it real
hope you feel
simple.
encouraged by that.
Yeah, you should. It is not difficult, but it does make it really easy to make each subsequent piece of content, each subsequent landing page match that design so that you can keep the theme going.
Yeah. So what do you full custom. I mean, this is a challenging concept, I think, to communicate sometimes.
It is, yeah.
Because people ask, like, well, what can you do? What is custom?
Yep. So there's two big parts. One part is the design. That's what most people think about a custom design. But the other part is content planning. So let's break those down. So the custom design piece, what does that mean, custom? Just about anything. So we will take inspiration from not just the other projects we've done for Workstand clients, but other industries. Maybe there's a photography site you like. Maybe you're into coffee or some other hobby, and there's great websites. We can take those inspiration. Maybe you've just got, your first cycling jersey you ever had from 30 years ago, and you think that's got it. That's great inspiration. So the design can be pretty much anything. There really aren't a lot of limitations, none that I can really think of now. There are some things we do too that aren't just design, where there's something unique about the store. Maybe fitting's really big. And so we think about that as part of the path of how we design the homepage to make sure we get people into those fitting pages efficiently. So from a design standpoint, just about anything. I want to say anything, but I figure somebody will come up with something. So I'll say just about anything.
But I think that's also sometimes folks who don't do this all the time have ideas that while they feel like it represents their business, it may fall outside of best practices, and we'll kind of guide you through that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or find a way to represent that piece in a more user-friendly or customer visitor-friendly way.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And then the second part of these projects is what we call content planning. So beyond design, do you have the right content on the site? These are the important categories, topics, services you offer. Do we have the right landing page content to support those lines of business? So we'll help identify that. We'll go through and make sure that there's not any irrelevant content. And then we'll either revamp or write the pages that we need and build those pages as part of the project. That probably is as big a part of the success of these sites, and they're very successful, as the design. So those are two really important parts. I want to make sure we talk about all the important parts of this stuff. So, inspiration from anywhere, content planning is a big part of that. Because of those two pieces, the investment required for these ranges a ton. And I think of them a lot like adding another location or remodeling a location. That can be physically very expensive. So I think relative to that, the investment in this is pretty reasonable. But these projects start around $3,000 if we're just doing design pieces. If we do get into content planning, or there's a lot of pages to work with, there's a lot of internal page content, you'll see these prices go up a bit. So generally, just say generally, and don't let this part stop anybody from inquiring about it, because there's a huge range here. That's why I'm being extra careful. Typically, these projects are $4,000 to $8,000 projects. We've done some that are more because there's a lot of page content, or we did a lot of other design work that was just intricate. So they can range, but that typically will fall in the $4,000 to $8,000 range. And some of them we have even begun doing branding work. So we're doing a really fun project. I won't mention it because it's not finished yet, but the original design of the logo and how the color schemes are, the business had changed over time, and that approach and that story wasn't really relevant. So we worked with them to redefine that, build a new logo, build out the whole brand colors and schemes, et cetera. So it was a fun project, but we can certainly do those projects as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always so impressed with the custom work and even just like the process, the way our designers kind of present options, mock up, what maybe a new logo, new branding would look like on merchandise and custom items and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's
Really
really good.
cool.
That's a good point too. Real quick, we'll run through these custom projects. Essentially, I typically, and the person has the first conversation, I'll collect some information and put together a proposal because I don't really have to know the exact outcome. I just need to know the scope of things. Once you have that proposal and it's approved, we do the first step of content planning if we're doing that part of the work. And even if we're not, we do a little bit of just making sure we've identified the pages. So we do wireframes and site maps just to make sure we're all talking about the same thing. And then after that's approved, we go to a design mock-up process where the designers have taken all this information that we've collected from these conversations and inspiration, and they come up with a static mock-up of the design. So it's just a PDF kind of thing, but that makes sure that from a design standpoint, you and your team are happy with that, and you get a few days to play with it and think about it. Oftentimes there's edits. And then once that's approved, we build the site. If you're an existing Workstand client, we make a copy of your site, pull it off to the side and work over here so we don't disturb anything that the public can see. If you're just coming to us, then it's easy. We just do it on the temporary site that you build the normal site out on. And that way you can still be working on things like getting your shipping methods set up and all that while we're doing the custom work. And then once we're done, we just make it live and you have a custom website.
Yeah.
So there are a few tips and ways to stand out, whether you want to do it with what's included in your subscription and the templates and the theme editors, or whether you want to go and have the website of your dreams. We can help with it.
Achieve your website dreams.
Achieve them.
Yes. But yeah, consultation is always free. Yep. I'm pretty sure I can speak for Mark.
Absolutely.
And anyone else that's maybe client facing in our company that would love to talk to you.
Yep. We'll always talk through those projects. Don't feel like you have to be ready to commit to something. Don't feel like I don't want to say something because then they'll hound me. I will not hound you. We'll answer questions. We'll get to the bottom of it. If none of this is for you and you'll stick with what you got, that's great. We had the conversation. You got the information. That's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, anything else?
No, I'm tired. I'm going to go try and keep recovering from that ride this weekend.
Mark had a big ride. Lots of climbing.
Lots of climbing, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I guess take a nap, have some snacks, and then we'll see you around the work stand.